samskrtas. The conditioned dharmas are production, disappearance, and duration alteration. The natures of the asamskrtas. The unconditioned dharmas are non-production, non-disappearance, non-duration and non-change. This is the first gateway of entry into the Buddha Dharma. But if the asamskrtadharmas, the unconditioned dharmas, had such natures, they would be conditioned. The nature of production of the samskrtadharmas, the conditioned dharmas, constitutes the truth of the origin of suffering, and their nature of disappearance constitutes the truth of the cessation of suffering. But if really these samskrtadharmas are not produced, they do not act, and if they do not act, they are not destroyed. Therefore they are asamskrtadharmas, just like the true nature. He who finds this true nature of dharmas no longer falls into the error concerning the natures of production, disappearance, duration, or changeability. From this time on, he no longer sees relationship between conditioned and unconditioned dharmas or between unconditioned and conditioned dharmas. Not grasping any specific mark in conditioned and unconditioned dharmas is what the unconditioned consists of. Why? If one imagines conditioned and unconditioned dharmas, one comes up against obstacles. If one cuts through memories and thought constructions, one destroys all objects and, by the true knowledge free of object, one no longer falls into the series of rebirths but one attains salvation, the nirvana of eternal bliss. Question. The first 6 emptinesses have each been treated separately. Why are the emptiness of the conditioned and the emptiness of the unconditioned treated together here? Answer. Samkrta and asamskrtadharmas exist interdependently. Outside of the samkrtas, there are no asamskrtas, and outside of the asamkrtas, there are no samskrtas. These two categories include all dharmas. The yogin who considers the faults of the samskrtadharmas, the conditioned dharmas, impermanent, painful, empty etc., knows ipso facto the great benefits of the asamskrtadharmas, the unconditioned dharmas. That is why the two emptinesses are treated together here. I2. Emptiness of the unconditioned. Question. It is quite possible that the samskrtadharmas, the conditioned dharmas, coming from the complex of causes and conditions, are without intrinsic nature and therefore empty. But the asamskrtadharmas, the unconditioned dharmas, which are themselves not dharmas coming from causes and conditions, are indestructible, inalterable, eternal and like space. How would they be empty? Answer. As I have just said, outside of the samskrtas, the conditioned dharmas, there are no asamskrtas, and the true nature of the samskrtas, the conditioned dharmas, is exactly asamskrta. The samskrtas being empty, etc. The asamskrtas, the unconditioned dharmas, themselves also are empty, for the two things are not different. Besides, some people, hearing about the defects of the samskrtadharmas, the conditioned dharmas, become attached to the asamskrtadharmas, the unconditioned dharmas, and, as a result of this attachment, develop fetters. Thus it is said in the Abhidharma, of the 98 anusayas pernicious tendencies, 89 have the samskrtadharmas, the conditioned dharmas, as object, 6 have the asamskrtadharmas, the unconditioned dharmas, as object, and for the other 3, we must distinguish the anusayas of ignorance belonging to the domain of the desire realm and to be destroyed by the truth of the cessation of suffering have as object sometimes the samskrtas, the conditioned dharmas, and sometimes the asamskrtas, the unconditioned dharmas, which are the anusayas having the samskrtas, the conditioned dharmas, as object. They are the anusayas of ignorance to be destroyed by the truth of the cessation of suffering and associated with the anusayas having as object the conditioned dharmas, which are the anusayas having the asamkrtas as object. They are the anusayas of ignorance to be destroyed by the truth of the cessation of suffering and dissociated from the anusayas having as object the conditioned dharmas. It is the same for the ignorances concerning the form realm and the formless realm. Following these fetters, one commits evil actions, and because of these bad actions, one falls into the three unfortunate destinies. This is why the Prajnaparamita Sutra proclaims the emptiness of the unconditioned here. The anusayas having the asamskrtadharmas, the unconditioned dharmas, as object are doubt, wrong view, and ignorance. A. Doubt is to question whether nirvana exists or does not exist. B. Wrong view is to form a judgment and declare that there definitely is no nirvana. C. Ignorance associated with this wrong view and this doubt and independent ignorance as well join together to form the anusaya of ignorance. 4. The emptiness of the unconditioned is not wrong view. Question. If that is so, how is the emptiness of unconditioned dharmas different from wrong view? Answer. The person with wrong view does not believe in nirvana. Then he formulates a judgment and declares that there definitely is no dharma nirvana. The emptiness of the unconditioned does not grasp the characteristic of nirvana. That is the difference. Moreover, the person who rejects the samskrtas, the conditioned dharmas, is attached to the asamskrtas, the unconditioned dharmas, by attributing to them the characteristics of non-production, etc., and by the fact of this attachment transforming them into samskrtas. This is why destroying the asamskrtas, the unconditioned dharmas, by not grasping their characteristics is not wrong view. That is what is meant by the emptiness of the conditioned and the unconditioned. 8 Sunyata. 7th section Emptiness 9. Absolute emptiness. I. Everything is completely empty. Absolute emptiness. The emptiness of the conditioned and the emptiness of the unconditioned destroy all the dharmas to the point where there is nothing left over. That is absolute emptiness. The arhat whose impurities are destroyed is absolutely pure, whereas the anagamin who, however, has drawn back to the desires of the sphere of nothing at all is not absolutely pure. It is the same here. There is the emptiness of inner dharmas, emptiness of outer dharmas, emptiness of inner and outer dharmas. Emptiness of the 10 directions, emptiness of the absolute, emptiness of the conditioned, emptiness of the unconditioned, and in addition, the fact that there is no dharma that is not empty. This is what is called absolute emptiness. The person who, for 7 lifetimes or for 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 or incalculable lifetimes, belongs to a noble clan, is absolutely noble and does not consider as really noble the fact of belonging to a noble clan for 1, 2, or 3 lifetimes only. It is the same for absolute emptiness. Since the very beginning, there has never been anything that is not truly empty. Some say, although this is presently emptiness, it was not so originally. There was, for example, God as origin of creation, darkness, subtle atoms. No. All that is empty. Why? If the result is empty, the cause was empty as well. Space itself is neither effect nor cause, and it is the same for God and the subtle atoms, etc. If they were eternal, they would not produce the transitory. If the past has no defined nature, neither do the future and the present. In the 3 times there is not a single dharma that is truly non-empty. That is absolute emptiness. To absolute emptiness does not lead to renouncing nirvana. Question: if everything in the 3 times is empty, including the subtle atoms, if nothing has ever existed for the least moment, that